So, two of this team's notable wins in the cycle were 4-3 against Brazil, the 5-3. Just curious how much a part of this team's DNA that ability to get into trouble and get out of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing I said to the group after the game was just, you know, character helps you win championships, and we saw a lot of that tonight in terms of, you know, being ahead, being behind, you know, giving up a late goal, you know, getting anxious in the late minutes in terms of just, you know, Australia was trying to pile it on. But yeah, I mean, I think that's what you have to have in terms of a mental determination, resilience, fortitude, whatever you want to call it. And I think that was a great takeaway. I'm going to watch the film because there's a lot of things to take away from this game, but I think overall, just the mental strength and that's a good team we just played, and to create that many scoring opportunities was great. Obviously, then we have to limit their chances, but I think in games like that where you have to have mental capacity, I think tonight was a really good test for us in terms of that. So it was good, really good.
Go ahead, Kelly.
The U.S. has conceded 4 goals or multiple goals in 4 of the last 6 games. So how much of concern is the defense for you right now, and what needs to happen to be ready for?
Yeah, I mean, I think again, I probably need to go watch the film in terms of tonight. That's a very potent offense as well that we played. But yeah, I mean, I think it's things that we have to have takeaways. You know, is it our ability to defend in wide areas when we're locked centrally? Is it just the space in front of our back line, making sure we're aggressive to steps? So there's a lot of things to kind of examine and you know, look into and continue to get better at. But certainly, you know, as I would also say as a team, you know, we have to make sure that it's not just our back line that deal with 4 up against the line. It's 11 players, and we have to feel that way. And so, you know, I think it's something we've got to make sure we get better at and continue to get better at. And that was the thing I said to the team afterwards as well. Is like, you know, we can obviously celebrate tonight, and it's some really good things, but there's also some really good takeaways that we have to make sure we get better at. So.
Questions in the back? Oh, go ahead, and then in the back. Yep.
Emily Sonic gets the start tonight. Your thoughts on her performance versus what her assignments and the game time was for her this evening?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sonic, you know, she's obviously, you know, she's played. Kelly's not here, and I think Sonic stepped in and did well. I mean, I think the challenge in terms of our backs being able to release to that wide area when they overload your central. You know, that's the decision. Can you get out there early enough? And so I think, you know, there were several 1v1 matchups I think she did well with. I think on the goal, you know, that decision to leave your feet, to make that big tackle and to get out there quicker is the confidence to release. But overall, I think it was a tremendous game for her to have. I think she played against the same player last year, and that's what we want out of these games, is these experiences of playing, you know, world-class players and continuing to have you know, things that we can get better at. But I think overall I was pleased with Sonic tonight, very pleased.
Go ahead.
Sorry to be a bit homer here, but can you talk a little bit about Malcolm's game right now, kind of what shape he's in and what you're counting on her heading into the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, you know, first of all, I just, you know, offensively, I thought overall we were fantastic tonight, and you know, 5's great. I think we could have had more. Even we had a lot of good chances tonight. But you know, Mallory coming in, and that's right now was, you know, her role to come in and be a difference maker. Just fantastic. And those were good goals. You know, those were world-class goals that she scored tonight. So I think it just speaks to the depth we have. It speaks to her ability to come in and change games and start games. And you know, I think we've got a lot of strengths in our attacking group. But you know, Mal is a really special player. Did well tonight.
And our stats coming tells us it was 37 seconds from the time she came on to the time she scored. Yeah, go ahead.
Was that her fastest goal?
Absolutely. Yeah.
How would you rank both those goals, 1 to 10?
Mal's goals. I mean, you know, they were both. I mean, one, it was just an aggressive response, and then the class on the finish on the second one. You know, the composure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. It's great for her, great for the confidence of the team, and you know, just really pleased because she's special.
Who else? Anyone else in the back?
So you kind of had mentioned that the score could have been higher. You could have drawn a lot more chances. In the first half, it seemed like Tobin Heath was running open a lot more, and she seemed to get the ball a lot more in the second half. Was that something that you focused on at halftime to try to get it to her more?
I mean, generally we like to sort of share the load in terms of, just our ability to attack. I think there was good variety in our attack tonight. I thought coming central and offensively, off of both flanks. But yeah, I mean, Tobin just does a great job of being in a position to not just find the ball, but also to work off of her teammates and get into good spots. And Tobin can finish and she can facilitate, and that's kind of a dream for a coach in terms of your wide players. It's great. She did very well.
Go ahead, Seth. Wait for the mic, please.
Can you talk a little bit just about your decision to bring Sam on at halftime, what you saw that you thought you needed to have her in there, and how she did in the second half?
Sammy Mewis?
Yes.
Sorry, when did she come in?
At halftime.
Oh, that's right. It was a predetermined sub. Rose, we knew could play 45, so it was a planned sub. And yeah, I mean, I think she's done well in our previous games. Has had really solid week of training. Brings a different dimension to the game, and I thought she comes in and does well for us. So again, I think part of these games, you want to look at the results and performances, of course, always, but you also want to see what we're doing right now will help us in June. That's the priority of these games. And so I think getting these players minutes in big moments, whether it's starting, coming in, that core group of players, I think that's what you have to get out of these games in terms of planning and preparing and getting Ali Long in there for a little period of time. You obviously want to look at things as well because you've got a roster decision to make.
Kaylin, and then in the back. Let Kaylin go first, then we'll go back, yeah.
I was actually going to ask about the subs as well, but just Megan Rapinoe, it looked like she came off for an injury. Do we know anything yet about that?
Yeah, I think she said she was okay. I checked on her, and she's I think just a little something she felt. I mean, I haven't talked to our medical team, but that's what I love about our players, experienced players especially. It's it's about being smart. Everything right now is about June, and so just being. You don't want to be cautious because you want to get playing time, you want to get minutes, but also I think she's a very experienced player and knew that perhaps taking her out was the best decision. So yeah, I think she's going to be fine.
Go ahead.
Jill, Australia's coach talked about the different tactical sort of formations you guys used throughout the game. Were you happy with the way that, as the subs kind of came in and out, the team responded to different tactical sort of shapes?
Yeah, that's so much about what these games are because, I think I've said this before, in May we want to have everything is set, and I think today gave us an opportunity to look at another defensive shape that we've actually been in a little bit, but tonight we stayed in it a little bit longer because we want to have some flexibility. So yeah, I think our base shape out of a 4-3-3 is I think we're very comfortable in that and set in that. We played out of a 5-back before closing out games, and I think looking at our other shape tonight that we looked at, we stayed in it. It gave us a lot of good looks. We got a lot of good pictures. Was it perfect? No, but I think there's a lot of good takeaways in terms of the balance it provides at times, especially when your altitude, your legs, and you can't possibly press for 90 minutes. So I think it gave us a lot of good looks.
Thank you, everybody. Ian in the photo booth over there will escort you to the mix zone.